Alright, your game's here again. You already know what I'm doing with the thumbnail. Part 9 of Shanks trained Luffy. Um I am very tired. I recorded for like 4 hours trying to make a Naruto what if, and I hated it every hour. Like most of the video wasn't even Naruto, it was Minato's whole backstory with Kakashi's team and everything. Like I gave a Minato backstory, not a Kakashi or Naruto backstory. So I'm gonna re-record that and not make it 4 hours long. Right, but part 9 would have trained Luffy. Last left off with like Strat crew leaving Sky Island after Luffy killed Eneru by shoving his fist through him, or his palms through Eneru. So yeah, one thing, the Strats, like the next main arc, I believe it's like the most canon arc is gonna be the Water 7 arc. I'm pretty sure that's like the most needed arc. The Foxy arc, I'm just gonna say that goes the same where they have to go like get the Mary and their gold back from the Marines. It all goes the same except probably about 10 times faster. Alright. The Straw Hats end up going to a certain island, and they find Aokiji. This time Luffy's gonna know who it is. And I would say this, like, their whole adventure has been probably about 3 months. Because I'm pretty sure before, like, as soon as Luffy got to Marineford, pretty sure the Marineford War marked like 10 months on the sea with the Straw Hats. I would say Luffy's been on the sea for about 4 months now. And everyone noticed that Luffy grew incredibly tall. So Luffy's about 6'5" now, making him the tallest Straw Hat currently. Um. So yeah, Luffy ends up going to a certain island with his group, and they help a group of hungry castaways. But Luffy will just tell the whole Straw Hat crew to find whatever they have, and like grab some food from the ship, and find some food around the island. Maybe he had Sanji go fishing and grab some food. Mm. So yeah, Luffy will actually sit on top, like lay on one of the sides of a rock, and that's when he starts sensing incredibly strong haki. It's not conquerors or anything, but he senses strong armament and observation. He peeks around the rock and sees Aokiji. Aokiji would have noticed Luffy's strong haki and is also peeking on the same side, so they lock eyes. Luffy like put his arm under the rock, like through the ground, and put it on the bottom of the rock and just toss it in the air. All the stars are gonna look and just see that Luffy and Aokiji are just staring each other in the eye. Aokiji's looking down at Luffy, Luffy looking up at Aokiji. And Luffy has met Aokiji. The last time they met, it was in a fight, and Aokiji almost cut Luffy in half. Luffy has a scar, I would say probably almost going over his, Luffy has a scar in his right eye, but it's not like he's blind there. But he does have like one scar in his right eye. He's not blind in that eye, he could still see just one line. And that's from Aokiji. And that's because if you try to strike Aokiji, because Aokiji hit Shanks at one point, Aokiji formed an ice sword, sliced at Luffy. And of course, Luffy lived. So this part is going to be relatively short. But Luffy finds Aokiji, and they're having a staring contest. And Luffy will say, "You here for a fight, Aokiji?" Luffy's just going to straight up call him Kuzan. So Luffy will say, "You here for a fight, Kuzan?" And Aokiji will look at like Luffy and say, "Still disrespectful, huh?" And try to hit Luffy. Luffy is gonna straight up just like use like a tiny berry. Like he's gonna point one finger out and use advanced armament. Aokiji gonna notice this and say, "Guess you're not as weak as last time." He will say, and say, that was 4 years ago." And Luffy was 13 when the first time he met Aokiji. But yeah. And Luffy is wearing his suit. He's not shirtless like he was in the Skypiea Jaya arc. But yeah. Luffy's wearing just his like the red top, like the red dress shirt like he has in the picture, minus the black jacket. He does have the one on the back, just not the black dress jacket. Luffy will just pull out his sword and slice at Aokiji. Aokiji will use his ice sword to block, and notices there's a moment his sword connected with Luffy's. Luffy almost is basically almost cut his sword in half. And Luffy will just drag his sword as hard as he can and cut straight through Aokiji, his sword, and like scratches up Aokiji's suit. And Aokiji didn't even said he didn't even give me a chance to answer if I was here for a fight or not. And Luffy says, I don't care if you're here for a fight or not. My only guess is you're here for Robin. And Aokiji will say, right. And look at Robin. All of a sudden, like, Aokiji tries to use, like, shave and get to Robin. But Luffy, like, when he uses shave, he just sees Luffy in front of him instead. Because Luffy's gear second is basically lightning speed. Nope, speed of sound. Lightning. Almost lightning. And Aokiji notices Luffy was there before him, and he looks where he last was, and he just sees like an after image of Luffy like just fading into the air. He's like, interesting. And tries to slash down Luffy again, but using like a black ice sword. Luffy is just gonna straight up and take it to the side, like Aokiji's gonna try to cut Luffy in half, and the sword is gonna break the moment it connects to Luffy's skin. And Aokiji will like try to scan Luffy for Haki. He notices Luffy has stronger armament than him, just not observation. And Zoro will actually try to like slash at Aokiji using the three sword style. Aokiji will try to use the ice sword basically, but Zoro just cuts it into three and almost kills Aokiji. No, not kill, slice him. Sanji will end up yelling my turn and activate Diablo Jambe, but in two legs. And kind of tries to do like the Liu Kang flurry of kicks. Kiji's blocking this and ends up punching Sanji in the gut and sending him flying. Then Robin will like put her fist over her chest, and then two arms will come out of Aokiji's shoulder using that are black and just punch him in the square in the head. Aokiji will have seen this coming and just coated his face in ornament. And says, "Is this crew? You trained them, didn't you?" So he'll say, "Did. I did." Then he's gonna say, "Zoro, Robin, now." And all three of them will just activate Conqueror's Haki, forcing Aokiji to his knees. And Aokiji's gonna say, "If it was just you, I'd probably at least be on one knee." He's gonna say, "I know." And just use like gear second in one of his legs and just send Aokiji flying halfway across the island. That's when Luffy realizes, he didn't even knock out Aokiji. He's just gonna say, I guess Kuzan's still awake, and Aokiji is just in front of him again. And then Aokiji will say, "All right, if you want a serious fight, you'll get one." And he'll try to punch Luffy, but Luffy just dodges as fast as he can. He dodges as fast as he can, and if he does successfully dodge it. So yeah. If he does look at his arm and he sees that Aokiji, he looks at Aokiji's hand, sees Aokiji form like half of him, kind of like a tiny axe inside of his hand, and he will look at his arm, and he sees like a scratch on it. He's like, I guess I have to use my observation to its max, and forces out all the observation he can, and then starts rushing at Aokiji. And Aokiji realizes that he's dodging almost as like very, very, very fast. Then Aokiji will start using his observation haki and land almost every hit he throws at Luffy. So that Aokiji has about 95% observation. I'm going to put Katakuri's observation at 100% in this. So you can see 10 seconds into the future. Luffy has 90%. That allows him to see at least 3 seconds in the future. Aokiji's is 95. That gives him 90. That gives him the ability to see 5 seconds into the future. So yeah, Luffy will end up start losing fights since Aokiji is using all of his observation and all of his armament at the same time. Straw Hats will actually try to fight Aokiji, and Aokiji will just use his ice streak to the max and just freeze the whole Straw Hat crew except Chopper. And Chopper knows he can't fight Aokiji, so he even was told by Luffy, stay back. Luffy told Chopper to go on the ship and wait for them to come back since their medic can't be injured. So yeah. That was the main reason Luffy told Chopper to go back. It was because Chopper isn't experienced with fights at this level. The Straw Hats have seen some stuff. And Chopper's only serious fight that he's seen was Inaru, and Luffy killed him right there. He's not ready for an Admiral fight. And Luffy's almost an Admiral level fighter. And the Straw Hats, I'm going to say if they team up, they'd probably at least fight to equal footing with Aokiji. Maybe even knock him out. And Luffy will actually tell the Straw Hat, he's going to tell Nami and Usopp to just go back to the ship with Chopper. And they're gonna protest this and says, right now you guys are our weakest link. Go back. They're not gonna take any offense to this. They're gonna know they're the weakest link. And every Straw that's left, which is mainly Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, and Robin, all without their ultimate moves. Robin will do the thing where she makes her giant hands. And when she does that, they're coated in purple haki. Zoro will coat his swords in a green haki. And then Sanji will coat both of his legs in orange haki that will light on fire. Luffy will just go to Gear 4th, Snake Man. And then Aokiji notices Luffy's haki is just bright red. There's barely any black in it. It's just bright red. And Zoro's using, I believe, I'm just gonna say it's the nine sword style. Well, it looks like it looks like he's using 9 swords. He's not. He's 3. It's an illusion. And Aokiji will see this, and every Straw Hat except Sanji will Luffy, Zoro, and Robin will exert all the Conqueror's haki they can, while Sanji will kind of just stay behind so he doesn't get affected by it. That's when they'll rush at Aokiji. Yeah. And Sanji will actually join in on this. And Sanji moves almost as fast as Luffy. No, as fast as Luffy. And he and Luffy kind of just take on Aokiji at first until the other shots get there. So Aokiji he jumped back as fast as he can. Then now Robin will make those 2 giant arms and slam them into the back of Aokiji, sending him flying towards Sanji and Luffy. And Luffy will use his snake strike that lights on fire and makes it look like a cobra, and it hits Aokiji square in the chest and sends him flying. Sanji will jump off Luffy's back and do the Liu Kang kicks in Aokiji's face, and it sends him flying again. And that's when Zoro will yell, "My turn," and use his 9 sword style. Well, after Robin will punch Aokiji toward Zoro, because Aokiji wants to fall in the water. Zoro will slice up every bit of forest area around them, and just give Aokiji, I'm gonna say probably about 2 very they're not deep cuts at all, but they're 2 cuts nonetheless. And Aokiji does go flying into the water, but he freezes it. That's when he says, "Alright, Straw Hats. So I can tell that was probably the strongest moves you guys have." And the Straw Hats are Luffy deflated, Sanji's legs like go out, and it's just like Sanji just has his bare feet out, no shoes, and this is like the pant. Like his pant legs are burnt. Sanji's has no shoes or pant legs. Robin used too much hockey, and Zoro's too tired to create any more illusions, and he can't use any more hockey. I'm trying to look at Luffy because he's probably the strongest of them. Then they realize he used Gear Fourth. He can't use hockey or his Devil Fruit. They're gonna be like, all right, we need to surrender now. Then they see Aokiji's panting and sweating. They look at the area around them. Aokiji froze all the water around the island. They see it just defrosting now. That's when the Sprouts will yell, truce. Aokiji's just gonna say, alright. And he's just gonna leave. You know, I'm gonna say he stays on the island with the villagers. The villagers are the castaways. And Sprouts will I'm gonna say Zoro picks up Luffy and they just walk to the ship. Nami, Usopp, and Chopper see them. They see that Luffy can't even walk. And his hand is a little burnt because of the snake thing. Sanji doesn't have any pant legs. He's kind of just naked on the lower half of his body. Robin just has her arms drooping down like a zombie. And Zoro is like struggling to put his swords in because I'm saying just for Zoro to create like his nine sword style illusion, he has to use a lot of hockey and boost his speed to the max. And Zoro's hands are kind of just shaking, so he's struggling to put his swords away. But he's using one hand to carry Luffy on his back. Luffy will push himself off Zoro's back and just crawl in and just try to crawl. I'm gonna say that that Chopper will pick up Luffy and just bring him into the medical room since Luffy has burns. And Luffy does have the bandages on his hand. And he realizes Luffy is bleeding excessively now. So he shoots that. And he sees that one burn is on Luffy's, it's mainly just Luffy's knuckles that are burnt, not the rest of his hand. So he shoots that, and it's okay. Luffy's just laying in his bed and passes out the moment he touches it. And say that Zoro wants to see Luffy to make sure he's okay. Chopper insists he goes lay down. Zoro will say no, and Usopp will just straight up hit Zoro. He's gonna punch Zoro in the gut as hard as he can, and it knocks out Zoro. And Sanji has to go to his room anyway to change. And I'm gonna say the whole Straw Hat crew that did fight, the ones that did fight, sleep for about 2 days. And this is when they actually reach Water 7. You know, they see Usopp is steering the ship. They see the frog. It ends up the ship almost gets hit with the sea train. And yeah. They get to Water 7. And by the time they get to Water 7, they're sitting at in the ship still for about an hour, and that's when Luffy will wake up hungry, and he just kicks his door to the other side of the ship and yells, "I want food!" And Luffy's just angry that he lost the fight, so he just demands food. Sanji will wake up, and he knows Luffy's angry, and we'll just say, "What do you want?" Luffy will look at Sanji and says, "You know." And Sanji will just go to the kitchen, grab as much meat as he can, and start cooking it. Luffy will go take a shower and kind of just leave it at that. So Luffy comes out and he's kind of just wearing the jacket the coat that he wears outside of his suit, and he's just wearing that only. Plus he's wearing shorts and sandals. Walking into the kitchen and kind of apologizes that he yelled at Sanji. Sanji's gonna say, "I understand," and just cook food for everyone else. And Robin's actually kind of just dreaming about Luffy because she realizes that Luffy was kind of fighting for hers and that so Aokiji will leave her alone. That's what she thinks. Luffy was kind of just doing it because he didn't like Aokiji. And the moment when Robin walks in, she hugs Luffy. Sanji is just gonna mumble under his breath, saying, "Dim bastard, you're getting every girl on the ship." Luffy will hear this and just chuck a bone, like a bone from a piece of meat that he finished, and chuck it at Sanji. Sanji is just gonna catch it and just throw it into the ocean. So yeah. Everyone eats and they get to Water 7. And the Straw Hats do the same thing, can it? Except Robin doesn't go missing. She has confidence in the Straw Hat crew, and she's like when someone says CP9, she yells for Chopper. Chopper will come out and he sees Robin's about to being grabbed by someone. He just goes into his buff form and coats one arm. Remember in armament hockey, and it turns black all of a sudden. And Chopper just punches them square in the face and they fly into the water. Chopper will look at his hand and say, "Oh, awesome." And I'm pretty sure I said Chopper has a fair amount of armament, like an average amount. But so does Robin. Pretty sure Zoro, I'm gonna say Zoro and Sanji plus Luffy have the most armament potential on the crew. Luffy and Nami have the least. Usopp and Nami have the least amount of armament. So yeah. The Straw Hats do find the group. And yeah. I'm gonna say because Luffy beat Bellamy. I'm pretty sure I said Luffy's last bounty was like 470, 500 million. I'll be right back. Okay. But I need to add one thing. Luffy does get a new bounty since people do know or saw that Luffy beat the hell out of Bellamy. So that was 55 million berry bounty. And that gave Luffy a bounty of 525 million. People do suspect Blackbeard has a pretty high bounty for a starting bounty, but most people just pretty sure Blackbeard's first bounty was after Marineford. People do think his bounty was like 550 million before he got his bounty, but I say that no one thinks that Luffy killed Blackbeard. Like, people do know that Luffy helped take him in, and that gave him a slight bounty increase, so that gave him 550 million. So yeah, Luffy has a 550 million berry bounty now. And Sriracha's the only one that didn't get this news. But Luffy's the only one that got a bounty increase from that. Actually, no. Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp get a bounty increase. So yeah. Zoro's last bounty was 100 million. I would say this gives him 125 million berry bounty. Sanji and Usopp, they have the same amount of berries as a bounty. And that gives them, I would say they get 100 million berry bounty. So they're the only ones that got a bounty increase. Or for now. And yeah. So Luffy is kind of walking around Water 7 because he doesn't want to take the animals that most people take. Say Luffy's just jumping from roof to roof with Nami on his back, and Usopp is just kind of in one arm. I'd say that Luffy is just very cautious on the sea. I'd say he's taken one of those things before, and one of them shook him off and almost killed him, so he's kind of scared of them. And Luffy's been to Water 7, but I'm gonna say it wasn't for long. It was only to get Shanks' ship repaired since a marine fired a cannonball at it and hit it. So if he was there for probably about, I would say 5 hours at most. so he didn't get to know anyone there. He doesn't know about the Frankie family though. And the Strats will like turn in all the gold they have, everything. And the Strats have about almost 1 billion berries on their ship, almost 1 billion. You know, I forgot how much I said they had. I would say they have about 800 million berries on their ship right now. And then when they turn in all their gold and everything from like Blackbeard's ship and Bellamy's ship, that gives them about 1.4 billion berries in total. Because Bellamy and Blackbeard are just known as like tyrant pirates, like murder and everything. That's mainly what they do. They're like the normal pirate that people suspect. So Luffy and his crew find out they have about 1 billion berries in total. And they're like, oh hell yeah. And they go see what was it? They go see a shipwright. And they do see the guards and everything. And Robin still isn't missing, remember that. And like CP9, everyone recognizes the Straw Hats. They're like, we need to be hella cautious. And Luffy does know CP9 exists. Or at least, no, he does know, because Garp found out how corrupt the Marines are. Because he met a corrupt pirate. Not pirate, Marine. And Garp just resigned from the Marines. And there's like a secret pirate. So yeah, Luffy knows CP9 exists. Like, he knows all about the Cypher Poles. Even, like, CP9, he knows about that. He doesn't know the members, because neither does Garp. So yeah. Zoro stays on the ship, still. Sanji's going around looking for, like, meals to cook. And Usopp, Nami, and Luffy are meeting with the shipwrights. Kaku goes to investigate the ship, but when he gets there, he just sees a bunch of like bodies of the Frankie family splattered. All like they're not dead, but they're on the verge of dying, and he just sees their body like spread out all across the beach. And checks out the Straw Hat ship, and he just sees like ice. Like Aokiji throws the ocean around the island, and as they like intent to like kill not Robin, like the other Straw Hats that were on the ship. So he can like damage like some of their ship, and he has ice particles in it that are supposed to like wear down the ship. No one knew this. No, not even Luffy. Kaku is examining the ship. And I'm saying he actually starts damaging some of the stuff, but not loud enough to the point where they notice the ship is damaged. And he goes to the Straw Hats, and when he gets back, he tells them, whatever fight you guys recently had took the biggest toll on the ship. And Luffy will put together Aokiji, and he's gonna tell the Straw Hats. He's gonna say, Aokiji wasn't aiming for me, Robin, or Zoro, or Sanji. He was aiming for you guys on the ship. And that's when Kaku will say, yeah, that's it, I guess. The Ice Admiral, correct? And then Kaku will just say, well, if it was the Ice Admiral, he has ice crystals in the ship, and some of them actually ended up going straight through some parts of the ship, destroying it. You guys are lucky your ship didn't capsize on your way here. Then when Luffy hears this, he says, so if I'm getting this correctly, what you're saying is that our ship can't even set sail anymore, and we're lucky we even made it here. Luffy will say, yeah, you guys probably have at least one island, or maybe less. And Luffy will say, alright. Then Kaku will say, also, there's like a angry swordsman on your ship. He might have just killed a bunch of thugs of the most like notorious gang here. He was like, oh yeah, the Frankie family. They probably messed with Zoro. And they start to leave. That's when like some guy will like run up to Usopp and try to rob him, and they try to grab the bag, like the briefcase from Usopp. Usopp will straight up just like deck the guy and knock the guy out cold. And Luffy will thinks Usopp. Thinks Luffy knows Usopp is tough, so he gives Usopp the rest of the briefcases. So I'm saying Usopp has let's try to ask for a bigger briefcase if they have any bigger ones after I forgot the other guy's name, the mayor of the island. They ask him if he has a bigger briefcase or something. He says he has two of them that are pretty big. Gives them Luffy gives two of them to Usopp, and Luffy will directly tell Usopp, "Be careful. This contains over a billion berries. Not take them to the ship." And the knocked out Frankie family member, or what they think is knocked out, hears this and crawls away quietly. And Luffy doesn't know who the Frankie family are and everything. He tells everyone, and they're like, "Wow, we need to stop him and jump him." And they do stop Usopp, and they beat the hell out of Usopp. They don't use swords or guns. They mainly have staffs and logs and pipes. They beat the living hell out of Usopp. And I'm saying Luffy has a transponder now with him, and Zoro has one on the ship. Luffy will call Zoro and ask if Usopp's there yet. Zoro will say, "No, Usopp. I haven't seen Usopp in a while." And Luffy will be confused, saying, "It shouldn't take Usopp that long. It's been about 2 hours." And Luffy's gonna tell Nami just wander around, do what she wants. And Nami will just use a little bit of observation to find Robin and Chopper and rush over there. She doesn't find Usopp since Usopp's kind of on the other side of the island. Luffy will run towards where Usopp should have gone, and Luffy's gonna go the same way Usopp went because he can sense a little bit of Usopp's energy, or haki. And then he finds Usopp bloody, beaten, basically at death's door. Luffy will straight up pick up Usopp and just run towards Chopper, not even just checking if he's alive. He just runs towards Chopper. I'm gonna say about 3 minutes. Everyone the whole shark crew will just see Luffy. He just jumping, and Chopper will sense Luffy's haki. He'll look up and all he sees is a demon, not even Luffy. And Luffy lands. And they just see Usopp basically they think he's dead now. And Chopper will have his backpack and start treating Usopp. So yeah. And everyone just has the most angered face. That's when Luffy will say, I'm gonna go get Zoro and Sanji." And he just runs after Sanji first. And Sanji, when Luffy gets to Sanji's gonna say, "Oh, Luffy, you okay?" And Luffy will tell Sanji what the Frankie family did to Usopp. Sanji and Luffy will run towards Zoro. They explain what happened to Usopp to Zoro. Zoro will just straight up take off his shirt, put on his headband, and pull out 3 swords and say, "Let's go." And then when the Strats get there, they arrive faster. So Frankie's about to leave until he sees the whole front half of his his hideout being brought down, and he just sees Luffy. He knows who Luffy is, and he doesn't know Luffy's current bounty. It's a Strat Luffy. And he'll put the briefcases down, and the girls will try to take them, but Frankie will just say, "Just wait here. It's gonna be over fast." And one of his gunmen will say, "Strat Luffy," and pulls out the most recent bounty poster. And he's gonna pull out Zoro and Sanji's most recent poster. Frankie will say, "Oh, you got a bounty increase." And Frankie will take off his mask and everything. And Luffy says, "Those of you who found the guy with the long nose, who was it?" And all the guys come out and say, "It was us. Got a problem?" And I think they can take on Luffy. We will just straight up use your second throughout his whole body, and I'm gonna say he actually just beats the living hell out of all of them. By the time he's done, Luffy took his time and did it 3 times. By the time Luffy's done, he's just covered in blood. They're not dead, but he's covered in blood. And that's when he just snaps, and Zoro, he just snaps with his hand, and Zoro and Sanji just rush into everyone. Sanji using Diablo Jambe, Zoro using his swords. 6 sword style. He's gonna use 6 swords. And Frankie's gonna be surprised at how fast they were just taken out. In about 5 minutes, the whole army was defeated by 3 people. Frankie will use his his version of the Kudai burst with like the air and blow Sanji and Zoro out of his base. And he thinks that he blew Luffy away too and is about to run. He just sees Luffy standing there, like just holding a straw hat in his hand. Then Luffy will just straight up use gear second in one of his arms and cut off one of Frankie's arms. Because he noticed that one of Usopp's bones was coming out of his arm. Remember, Luffy's gonna grab Frankie's arms and kind of just punch it, like punch the elbow, and now it's the same arm that Usopp had broken. And Frankie just starts screaming in pain, and Luffy will just beat the hell out of Frankie. And the girls will try to stop, and Luffy will just knock him out with Conqueror's Haki because he doesn't hit women. He's respectful. He knocks him out with Conquerors. That's when Luffy will get up off of Frankie and says, "Next time you mess with my crew, I'll kill you." And knocks out Frankie by kicking him in the head. He takes the berries and just walks out. And he gets to the ship, and I'm gonna say that Kaku had heard what they were talking about, and I'm gonna say Kaku was concerned, kinda, since he saw how hurt the Straw Hats were about the ship. He goes to talk to them, see if they're okay and everything. And then while he was getting there, he heard what they did to Usopp. So he kind of just stays back by the ship. Doesn't do anything to it this time. He does mess with the insides a little more and kind of damages it. And when he tries to get back, he just sees that Luffy's covered in blood. And he asks what they did to the Frankie family. And Luffy says, "That's private, but all I can tell you, you're not messing with the Straw Hat Pirates anymore." And Kaku's like, I get it. And he's like, "Alright, but I can make sure you guys are okay about your ship." And he sees what happened to Usopp. He didn't think it was as bad as they were talking about. It's kind of worse what they were talking about. He says, "I'm sorry for your crewmate," and ends up leaving. Luffy will take a look around the ship, and Kaku only damaged the parts he knew that they didn't look at. Luffy will scan the whole ship and find like a little bit of hockey in the ice that Kaku said was around. And Luffy will just agree, saying, "We are lucky the ship didn't capsize as we were moving." So yeah. Alright, well that's the end of the video. You leave off with Luffy basically almost killing the whole Frankie family. And Frankie. And Kaku double checking after damaging the ship. So hope you guys enjoy this video. And enjoy your night.